That defensive dominance in this conference wrestled away from Miami by the Hokies. A gray September day right here 4 years ago. The balance of power began. Since then, the Hokies have beaten the Canes 4 straight times. That sickens Miami players a lot more than losing to Florida State. Unlikely rivalry. A pricey private school in the tropics versus a Polytechnic Institute engineering school in the Virginia Hills. It's a good rivalry. Miami is battle tested. They played maybe the nation's toughest schedule. The Hokies off a huge scare. They're a little relieved. They're determined. They're a little angry because that BCS math has been a hot topic here all week. Hokies and Gators stayed put despite Penn State's loss because Tennessee's 24-point win over Notre Dame bumped the Vols from 5-2. At the moment, Tech 0.33 out of second. That's a very slim margin, but it doesn't sit well with Hokies sackmaster Corey Moore, a Tennessee native and one-time Vols fan.
Thinking about a couple different scenarios, I can't deny that, but I haven't been thinking about the daggone computer because the computer don't mean anything to me. I just obviously think if we take care of our own business and Florida State went out, obviously we got to play Florida State no matter what the computer says.
The two best teams are going to play when it's all said and done, and then you play the whole schedule. I absolutely believe the two best teams in this country are going to play for the national championship.
Tennessee can stop crying. I mean, they had a chance to control their own destiny. I thought they tried to run the score up on an average Notre Dame team this past week, but I'm not going to stoop to their level and cry.
Well, outweighing Tech's edge in both polls, a big deficit in schedule strength, but more importantly, a huge flip-flop in the average computer ranking made up of 8 different power ratings. Computers love Tech until that 2-point win over 3-5 West Virginia. Tennessee's big jump really shows how volatile these things are. You're trying to predict and project. That's sketchy at best. A lot of loose talk in the BCS standings, and Tony Barnhart joins us from Tuscaloosa. A lot can happen. By the way, do you have another postcard long distance for the Hokie fans here, Tony?
Well, good morning, Chris. I tell you what. Now, look, I know the folks up there in Blacksburg are concerned, but the way you got to look at this thing is like the seeding process for the NCAA tournament. Tennessee has played the 6th toughest schedule in the nation, only 1 loss on the road to Florida. Virginia Tech has played the 60th toughest schedule and almost lost to a bad West Virginia team. So Tennessee was rewarded for playing a tough schedule well, and that's the way it should be. But look, I think if Virginia Tech takes care of business tonight and in November, they will be in the Sugar Bowl. But if they're not, Kirk, all you can say is sorry, Hokies. Because when you play teams like 1AA James Madison, you only have yourself to blame.
But I don't think they heard you there. You said as long as you play James Madison, you have you're just yourself to blame, right? That's what you said. I want to make sure they heard you there. There was a delayed reaction there. Take your point a little bit further, Tony. People need to understand it's not the BCS standings that are causing the confusion. It's more the computer ratings. Look at Tennessee last week with their 24-point victory over Notre Dame. They gained nearly 4 points in the computers alone, while Virginia Tech needed a last-second field goal to beat West Virginia. That's the thing that's driving people crazy, the computers. It'll fluctuate every single week, and it's based on how good your opponent is and how badly you beat them. And I know it goes against every coaching fraternity rule there is, but you have, if you have a chance to run up the score, you have to take it.
You know, Kirk, speaking of the computers, you know, before the BCS, it used to be very important when one team could beat the other team head-to-head. But now, with the computers, I'm not so sure. Let's take a look at this situation. 4 of the top BCS 15 teams have beaten the team ahead of them in the rankings. Yo, that doesn't seem like it's fair. Michigan State beat Michigan. Alabama beat Florida. Texas beat Nebraska. And Florida beat Tennessee. Chris, you don't think at the end of the year, if 2 teams have the exact same record, the old BCS would give the shot to the team that beat the other team?
Well, make it more complicated. I think that'll sort itself out. One team we haven't talked about is Kansas